brief introduction of the topics, and it is very perfect what you said. We got to understand each Anuyog and then how you put together, and ultimately our goal in Jainism is to attain liberation and see how that can be accomplished, at least in theory. Then when you do the practice, it's a different story. Okay, how easy or how difficult what you can do it. All right, let me do the sharing the things. Okay, okay, here. And okay, can you see it properly now?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, this is the forum you just to understand the Jain religion. Unless and until you have a very good concept, you will never understood Jain philosophy. It is like a baby is born. When the baby is like 2, 3 years old, every mother in this country, in America, like will tell about the tooth fairies and the Santa Claus. Okay, knowing well, okay, these are not the true things, but every mother goes through that for their child, and that is the fun and the beauty about it. Similarly, in the beginning, Jainism is being explained through kathas, through stories. And if you put all 45 agams, which includes all 32 Stanakwasi and Terapanthi agam, if you put them all together, it's about two-thirds of the complete Agam Sutras covers the story. So you can imagine how many literature of the, no, this is our basic literature, really covers the story because it is easy through stories you can convey the proper message. But you got to understand the limitation of the story, limitation of the Kathanuyog. Don't try to stretch it, go outside the boundary condition. If you do the boundary condition, you will equally misinterpret Jainism. That's the very danger. But again, you got to decide it. Okay, do you really understand, okay, what is the purpose of story? The purpose of story is not to create some principles out of the story, but whatever the principles they are explaining the story. Story's purpose is to explain the principle. Principle is defined in the sutra, but how to explain that principles, that where the story is used. But don't take the story and create a principle out of it. Okay, and we will give you the examples in the Mahavir's life and other things, how different authors have misused these things. Okay, and I use the word misuse is because they are just they got certain ideas in their mind and they wanted to make sure it is being given to the Jain community, whatever reason, and that is not correct from that point of view. And we will review a couple of examples also, those kind of the things. So I just give you each Anuyog has their own limitation. There is a boundary condition. And I will explain you the boundary condition, and ultimately what is the true religion comes at the end. That what we need to understand, what is the principle of the true religion in Jainism. Okay. So let's go to the first one. 4 Anuyogs to understand Jain religion. The Lord Mahavir preached Jain philosophy, rituals, conduct, and religion directly to the common people using common people's language and common people's understanding. Now that's very clear, very good and very clear statement in a sense that if you look at Hindu religion is in Sanskrit language. All the religious literature of Hindu religion, what we call Hinduism, actually what is called Sanatana Dharma, but I'm not going into different names and different things. The Hindu religion in traditionally Hindu culture is one thing. Hindu religion is different things. We have a Jain religion, but our culture is a Hindu culture or Bharatiya culture or whatever the words you want to use it. Okay? If Jainism in the past did not establish other countries like Buddhism. Buddhism went to Ceylon, Buddhism went to Burma and China and Japan, where religion was the Buddhism, but their cultural were Shinto or Tao's, whatever, different culture of that country, that culture adopted Buddhism. Jainism did not have to really go through it except from North India to South India and few different cultures, they have to adopt it in the religion. And because if you don't adopt the local culture or local religion things, then religion cannot survive long. Okay, that is the very key things. No, you have to understand it. We were, because Jainism never went out of India in a kind of a Buddhism did, okay, and Hinduism did, okay. Java, Sumatra, and all the places, the significant people are Hindus. They have adopted the culture into it, and they still continue the Hindu religion traditions. Okay. Even though he preached universal truth, he used the language and method understandable to the audience present at that time. This is again 2,500 years ago. What are the present knowledge of the human being, human people who were living in that area? This way they can easily follow the preaching because he did it in the local language. It wasn't. It was not like Hinduism, like Sanskrit, where you need Brahmin to interpret the scripture. Okay, Sanskrit, because it is not the local language, and if it is not local language, it is very difficult for people to understand it. That is why they just use, listen the lectures, sermons of learned, and basically the learned were the Brahmins. After his nirvana, his preaching of Jain philosophy, ethics, conducts, and spirituality are compiled in the sutra form, in the scripture known as 11 or 12 Agam Sutras by his immediate disciple known as Gandhar. The Bhagwan Mahavir's immediate disciples, okay, they were the 11 Gandhars. Out of 11, I told you before in one of the sessions that 9 Gandhars attained liberation while Bhagwan Mahavir was alive. And since Bhagwan Mahavir was alive, none of his disciples took like documenting Bhagwan Mahavir's preaching into sutra. It happened after the nirvana of Bhagwan Mahavir. So that's the history. Okay, so there are two Gandhars left, which was Gautam Swami and Sudharma Swami. And these two Gandhars, depending upon which sect you believe, one sect believes Gautam Swami compiled, other sect believe that Gautam Swami attained the Keval Gnan next day, and that's why the only Sudharma Swami is the one who compiled all these sutras. Okay, 11 or 12. These Agam Sutras include Jain philosophy, religion, conducts, stories. It also includes the culture, morality, and the knowledge base that existed among the common people at that time. So you got to keep in mind each Agam has two components. One is the religion philosophy, morality, that component, and another is the cultural aspect of the component. The cultural aspect is at that time, whatever, when the things were written, because you cannot write abstract. You write it based on the culture where you are. Okay. And that is the reason you have to understand it is the cultural aspect it or it is the religion. Okay. Again, you are the one going to decide, and it is not that difficult to decide. But sometimes we are being programmed and we think everything old we cannot change. We can change the cultural aspect of it, not the philosophy and the religion aspect of it. Okay, that is a very clear way. Otherwise, 2,500 years ago, whatever the situation among the uh, Jain, Jain community, we cannot just keep carrying those things even in America or any other place. Even after 2,500 is in India is changed so significantly. Okay.
We'll keep them here for a couple days. You tell me. The text is transcript. Yeah.
These Agam Sutras include Jain philosophy, religion. I've already explained to that. Next one. There are four Anuyugs to understand Jain religion. Jain Agam and other religious sutras can be grouped into the four classes known as four Anuyug. Prathamanuyug or Kathanuyug, that is the story, like what Sejal has said. Then Karanuyug or Ganitanuyug. These are the same things, same sutras. They have two names, Karan and Ganit, mathematics. Okay, anything that is related to mathematics, all grouped into Karanuyug. The third one is the Charananuyug or Charan Karananuyug. That's the Charan is the feet. So you are doing something. Okay, that is any ritual which you are performing in the group or even in individual. The external kriya what you are doing, they are all Vyavhar Dharma. And Dravyan Yuga is the Nishchay Dharma, which is nothing but the reflection while you are performing the rituals. And Jainism is the religion of reflection. That is the true religion. That the true religion is while doing all these kriya, when you read all the stories, all mathematics, everything and all external kriya, but at that time, what is your inner reflection? What are you trying to accomplish? And are you accomplishing whatever you are trying to accomplish? If you are accomplishing or progressing towards that, then all your effort what you are doing, it's worth it. But if you are next day the same person as you are, today, you haven't changed things because you don't know what to do, what to change. Okay, that means you haven't understood the religion properly and you are doing just kriya. Any kriya what you are doing, any external rituals what you are doing without understanding, or sometimes no, it's a good music, good stavan, it's entertaining. Okay, and you love it, you attend it, and you think no, you have accomplished both religion and the rituals. Okay, that is not where the Jainism is. Music is okay so long as you understand what you are doing, what kind of the reflection you should have, and then continue that way. Okay. The external conduct or ritual is Charanuyog, and individual internal reflection is Dravyanuyog, which is the true religion. The original 11 or 12 Angagams and other Agam books are not compiled as per Anuyog. You don't find Acharak Sutra is one Anuyog, or Sutra Katang or Bhagavati Sutra is like this Anuyog or this Anuyog. Each Agam Sutra has several sloks of each Anuyog, several sloks of Kathanuyog, several sloks of Charanuyog, several sloks of Vyavar Dharma, and few sloks of Nischay Dharma. Because the Dravyan Yoga, when you go into it, there are certain authors have compiled all the Agam Sutras together into 4 Anuyogas. And you can see Prathmanu Yoga or Kathanu Yoga is like 2 volumes, while the all other Agams are only one volume. But among them also, Dravyan Yoga is very thin, relatively speaking, than Karnan Yoga. Okay? So you can see which are the real philosophy exist, and it is sometimes very difficult to find even. Okay, but there is enough literature now available. You can go to Jain eLibrary, write down Dravyan Yoga, and you will find the big volume, one volume book. Okay, saying this is the Dravyan Yoga Sutras. Okay, same thing. But Vyavar Dharma and Nischay Dharma, they always go hand in hand. You need to know which one is the Nischay and which one is the Vyavar Dharma. Because without the Vyavar Dharma, you cannot practice Nischay Dharma. That is the reason I'm saying it. Vyavar Dharma alone is not a true religion. But when your reflection is on the true religion and you are doing all the kriya, that is Vyavar Dharma. With reflection, that is a true religion. Because if somebody says, well, why do I have to do all these rituals? I can just do it myself, no reflection and dhyan, and I don't have to practice anything. His logic is right, but his practice will never happen. That's why both are very important in that one. So keep that thing in mind also. And say properly interpret each Agam Sutra, one needs to know the knowledge of each Sutra and its Anuyog or classification. Second thing, the limitation of each Anuyog also you should know. Otherwise, many meaningless misgivings will crop up in your mind about the Jain principles, and we will use some of these examples also. Okay.